All right, this is the fourth and final video in this series of videos for the Q1 benchmark study guide. I did have to put a cough drop in my mouth because I've been talking for darn near an hour, so I apologize for that. But in any case, here we go. Number 21. On Saturday, Megan babysat for 3 boys. She earns a flat rate of $25 for showing up and $3 per hour for babysitting. If she wants to earn at least $49, how many hours does she have to work on Saturday? Okay, so a couple things. Flat rate of 25. Let me zoom in. Flat rate of 25 means she's going to make $25 no matter what or how many hours she is staying there. Okay? She's making $3 per hour, which means that she's going to earn $3 for 1 hour, $6 for another hour, $3 for another hour, or 9 $9 for 3 hours, so on and so forth. So that is going to be where our variable is going to go. She wants to have at least $49, so that's going to be on the other side. We just have to determine what our inequality sign is. If she wants at least $49, think about, is it okay for her to get more than $49, or is $49 going to be like the limit we can't go past? So if I want to earn at least $49, I'm okay with 49, but I'm also okay with 59. I'm also okay with 100. I'm also okay with anything above 49. So I'm going to say that we want greater than 49, but it's okay if she also makes $49. So that is the inequality that I'm going to use. Um, which choice does that correspond with? It's not A because 25 has the variable. It's not B because 25 has the variable. So it's either C or D. The way that I have mine set up, D. D is going to be the correct one, because this one right here would say that 49 is larger, or what she is making is not going to go past $49. So I would say D. D is what we got there. Number 22. One of the students below made a mistake in solving the equation. Who was it? What did they do? Let's see. I think what I want to do is I want to actually solve it myself. And then that can kind of, we can determine who did something wrong, kind of by doing this. So first thing we need to do is look for distribution. So 2 times negative 6n is negative 12n. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. There's no like terms to combine, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides, which will get me 36 equals negative 12n. Divide both sides by negative 12 to get negative 3 equals n. Interesting. I just realized both of these variables down here say x. Oh well, it's the variable. You know what it is. So which one did we get negative 3 on? It looks like Ernie. Ernie's is correct. He also got a negative 3. So Bert messed up. Bert made a mistake by what? Let's see. Bert made a mistake by, let's see. So yeah, I can show my work here. We distributed first. Okay. He brought down a 32. That's fine. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. That's true. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. That is also true. Okay. So then what he did was he added 4 to both sides, which we did the same. That's fine. 32 plus 4 is 36. That's fine. Looking at this last step right here, Bert divided by positive 12. This is a negative 12. Do not forget that negative sign. So we can just explain Bert made a mistake by dividing by um, positive 12. Instead of negative 12. And that's what Bert's mistake was. He just dropped that negative. So we ended up getting the opposite of the correct solution. All right. 23, these are fun. Given the equations, find the value of x. So when you have y equals something and y equals something else, y and y are the same variables, okay? So if y equals y, which it does, that's true, then one of the values of y will equal the other value of y. So we just set it up like that, and then we solve it from there. I'm going to start by adding 3x to both sides as a fraction. So I'm going to use a calculator. 2/3 x plus 3x gets me 3 and 2/3. I'm going to switch that to an improper fraction. That's going to get me 11/3. So we have 11/3 x plus 8. From here, I'm going to subtract 8 to get me -1 equals 11/3 x. And then we had a coefficient earlier on this thing in a different video, I think, on what to do when we have a fraction as a coefficient. I taught you to multiply by the reciprocal. If you want, which I think a lot of students are snapping onto, just divide by that coefficient, that fractional coefficient. So I'm going to take in my calculator -1 divided by 11/3. That is going to get me x equals -3/11. So that would be the value of x, right? So yeah, the key here is to set them, set your y's equal to each other, and then set the other side of the y's equal to each other as well. That is 23. We have 2 more, I believe. 24. Oh, I lied. There's 20. Yeah, there's 26 questions. Whoops. I'll have to fix that. That's okay. Determine the value of a so the equation has a solution of x equals -4. I'm going to rewrite that down here, x equals -4, just so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. If x is -4 and I directly substitute in, what this says is this. This has been throwing people off. I'm going to throw a coefficient in there. And anytime you have a coefficient, you are going to multiply that coefficient by the variable. So this will look like this. -1 times x is -4 minus 2 equals a times that -4 plus 10. So all I did was substitute in. And then now I can kind of go ahead and mess with the math. So yeah, -1 times -4 is +4. A times -4 is just -4a. I'm just going to rewrite that into something a little bit more familiar to us. Okay. Combine like terms if you can, and I can. 4 minus 2 is 2. Variables are already on one side. Subtract 10 to get your constants on the other side. And then finally divide both sides by -4 to get 2 equals a. That will be our solution. The value of a is 2 after we solve it by substituting in that variable for x of -4. Okay, couple more. 25. I believe 25 and 26 are essentially the same question. 25 is going to have you set up a few pieces of this information here. 26 is going to actually have you solving it. So by doing 25 correctly, we should be able to have an equation for 26 and then solve that correctly as well. So Chad is choosing between 2 cell phone plans. For 1 month, plan A charges $29.95. With each text, I'm going to kind of highlight that. Each text costs 10 cents. Plan B charges $49.95 each month, with each text costing 5 cents. So let me do this. I'm going to color code it. We'll do yellow. So plan A charges that. Plan B charges that, with each text costing that. So what you want, I didn't even finish the question. It says how many texts must be sent for the plans to cost the same. Cost the same means equals. Okay, so we need to first decide or define the variable. So what's missing? It says how many texts. So always look for how many, how much. So I'm just going to kind of circle what we're missing, how many texts. So the number of texts is what we are missing. This costs the same. I want to go back to that because we need to kind of now make our equation. And what we're going to do is set plan A equal to plan B. So we want plan A equal to plan B. And we're going to substitute in the information from plan A and plan B. So plan A, it says it charges $29.95, $29.95 plus each text costs 10 cents, so 0.10. And each text, we don't know how many texts, that's why we have this number of texts. So we'll kind of assign that variable to the 0.10. Set up plan B's information, which is $49.95 plus 5 cents per text, 0.05 per text. Move this so it looks a little bit neater. That's kind of where we are at on this. So that's the equation. We just kind of need to select it down here. So I've got $29.95. Yikes. This is a lot to kind of look at. $29.95 plus 0.10x. $29.95 plus 0.10x. That one is looking good so far. Let's make sure that we have plan B correct, which is the $49.95 plus 0.05. We do. I am convinced that this is the correct equation that we are going to use to model this situation. Okay, that's it for 25. That's it for 25. We just kind of need to set up what we know. 26, it's the exact same situation. We are just going to answer the question, how many texts must be sent for the plans to cost the same. So I'm going to use this equation that I wrote up here to solve for the problem. Okay. There's no distribution because there's no parentheses. There's no combining like terms because there's no like terms on the same side. So what we need to do is get our variables to one side. So I'm going to start by subtracting 0.05 x on both sides. This right side's variables will cancel. So on the left side, I'll have 29 $29.95 plus 0.10 minus 0.05 gets me 0.05x. And I'm going to set that equal to, I guess, just the 49.95. Now it's a two-step equation. Get your constants to the other side by subtracting the 29.95. Those will cancel. 0.05x equals 29.95. 20. I got this is equal to 20. Last step then is to divide both sides by your coefficient, which is the number in front of the variable. This will cancel. X equals whatever that is. 20 divided by 0.05, 400. Kind of large, that's okay. So what we just found out was if these two plans are, if Chad sends 400 texts, both of the plans are going to cost the same. Before 400 texts, one is going to be less expensive. After 400 texts, one of them is going to be less expensive. But at 400 texts, it does not matter which plan he chooses. So that is the solution. And that is the end of this video.